The Lowcountry is about to experience a heat wave beginning this Memorial Day weekend. I talked with the Lowcountry's chief meteorologist, Rob Fowler, to talk about the forecast and give us a preview of the hurricane season. And be sure to download the free Quintin Explosive app in your Apple or Google Play stores. And subscribe to my YouTube channel as well. Rob Fowler, it's so good to see you again.
Good to see you, Quintin. Always a pleasure. Welcome to the Weather Center in the air conditioning, where it's 66 degrees in our studio.
Feels like 46 degrees in here.
I'll take 40 when it's almost 100 outside.
You talk about outside. Obviously, it's so humid outside. I mean, it hits your face immediately when you go outside. And I know that people downtown are taking cover and they're using umbrellas, drinking water, seeking shade. What can we expect from now through Memorial Day?
Well, unfortunately, it's probably going to get worse. Temperatures will continue to increase. The sea breeze will be pinned to the coast, so we won't even get that refreshing breeze coming in from the ocean. So even beachgoers may expect temperatures in the low 90s all the way to the beaches. So the air is just sitting there, and we know living in the Holy City, this is what we normally see in parts of June, July, and August, and here we are in late May seeing it now.
Why this early in your mind?
Well, the pattern is, the weather is very cyclical, and we have a big, giant dome of high pressure that's just blocking any cold fronts from coming in, meaning cooler weather, and also meaning more substantial or widespread rain. So we're kind of stuck in this pattern, and keep in mind, weather is three-dimensional, so we've got a high pressure that goes all the way, almost like a giant mountain, so it's hard to break through. You have to go up and over the mountain, and these fronts just can't make it through.
You talk about rain, we need rain, and then I was looking at this graphic just a few minutes ago in the lobby. It says that air quality and wildlife problems might grow.
Yeah, so we're talking about, obviously, the wildfires because it's so very dry, and air quality because the air is just going to be sitting there and stagnant, not moving around. Obviously, for those who do have some respiratory problems, this high humidity can really zap their energy very quickly.
And you talk about what's going on quickly. Let's talk about the hurricane season.
Okay.
That's coming up June 1st. And every expert says, hey, we don't know what's going to happen next.
Yeah, there's so many factors. There's El Nino, which typically will suppress tropical activity. But then you've got these sea surface temperatures that are warming quickly. And that's one of the ingredients you need. And also, how many storms do we have in Africa that eventually, as a storm, move into the far eastern Atlantic and become something tropical in nature? So we think of a near normal season, but we get caught up in the numbers quite a bit. But all it takes is one. It just takes one. If it hits you, as far as you're concerned, it is an active year.
Can I talk to you about the west coast of Africa? What is the temperature right now as far as the water?
Well, water temperatures out there are well into the 80s. So, and we're low 80s right here off of our coast. So this is the time, even though June 1st is the official beginning of hurricane season. We've already seen Andrea. But any of the early season storms that form before June, and for the last 5 years we've had a named storm before June 1, typically form closer to the United States in the islands or Bahama or Caribbean. And it takes a little while longer to get things forming off the coast of Africa. That's usually later in the season, August, September.
From now until September and even beyond there, because I know the hurricane season ends November 30th, I believe.
Yes.
What tips would you give the average person?
Easiest tip is prepare now. Here we are late May, June 1st, again, the beginning of the season. We've already seen a storm, which doesn't necessarily mean the whole season's going to be active. You can't use that as a barometer. But I always like to tell people, just get ready now, get everything stored away in your garage, the water, the batteries. If you need it this year, you've got it. If you don't, you've got it next year, because each and every year is a new year.
And why so many active hurricanes in this season? I mean, it's been back to back, it seems like.
Yeah, and I think, when you look at the numbers, it has been above average, but you also look at the fact that, we have been impacted, and there have been many years. 1995 always comes to mind. We had 19 named storms, but all of them stayed out in the ocean, so we weren't impacted that year. We could have been many times. So I think the last few years, going back even to 2015 with the floods of 2015, and Hurricane Joaquin had something to do with that. The bottom line is we've been impacted as opposed to those staying offshore. They actually moved onshore.
Sure. Let me get back to the heat wave because, Tuesday I went for a run. Thought everything was fine. Thought I drank a lot of water. But afterwards I came back with a little headache, took ibuprofen, I was fine. But for those people who are active in this heat, what tips do you give them?
I'd say plan your day accordingly. Go out early in the day and stay out later in the day. So, don't go in the middle of the day. Generally from 10 to 3 or 4, that's probably the time you want to avoid any strenuous physical activity. I run myself, and I've told myself that if I don't get out before 9 o'clock, I'm probably not going to run that day.
Wow, so amazing. And please be careful to yourself.
I will. Stay hydrated. You know, those simple, common sense tips. I always tell people that your body is like a car engine. If you don't put water in the radiator, your car is going to break down. That's exactly what happens to us, too.
Yes, indeed. Well, Chief Meteorologist Rob Fowler, thank you for your time. I really appreciate this.
Thank you, Quentin. Stay cool.
Oh, yes, sir. Absolutely.